The memories behind the infamous match of Halloween Havoc 1997, which I truly believe is a match that put me on the map. I was a big fan of Eddie growing up, so to be able to forward all these years and then eventually share the ring with him was incredible. It was an honor for me to face one of the Guerreros. Overall, that match was highly important for me. The fact that I become Camp Knight and defend my mask, not have to be in mask. You know, that was something that was really in the back of my mind. I just didn't want to go through that. They were trying to take off every luchador's mask one by one, and I was on the list. So you could only imagine the stress that had built up. And for us, luchadores, it's a very prized possession. You know, this is something that I've carried since 1992. We both know, Eddie and I, what the mask means to us that carry it. So he knew what was at stake. I would never give him the satisfaction of taking my mask. Never. And I figured Eddie wouldn't see this coming. I have to be able to take some pain to dish out some more. Yeah, Eddie was Eddie, man. Always thinking, always a step ahead of me. I just knew what was coming. I just felt a little too confident, you know, and he took me out viciously. You know, at the end of the day, it felt like this was just a nice reminder that it wasn't just a match. You know what I mean? I mean, Eddie was trying to stop me that night as I was trying to stop him. He wanted to take it all away from me, and I could not slip on that fact. You know, that slingshot senton that Eddie always does, it's beautiful to see when you're not on the receiving end, but it sucked being on the other end of that senton. And seeing him taunt me, you know, it kind of boosted me up. It fueled me up to keep going with that match. One thing that I felt during this match is I kept getting frustrated. You know, thinking that I was in control, when in an instant, you're trying to catch your breath while you're on the floor. Like I said, Eddie was Eddie, and he knew exactly how to mess with my head. You know, I just remember thinking, not like this. I couldn't lose my mask to Eddie like this. So I had to keep going. In the span of 3 seconds, I took one of Eddie's biggest moves, the gory special, and kicked out of it. But then, I get a drop kick on the back of my head. I was starting to really wonder if I'd be able to win this thing, and was really getting desperate. I remember feeling out of place while I was sitting on the top turnbuckle in a tree of woe. But I managed to shake off what Eddie was about to hit me with next. I just remember everything in my body screaming, "Move now!" And I did move. I'm glad I listened to myself. Some of my top signature moves is flying over the top rope onto the floor. You know, and I felt like Eddie had an answer for everything. Not this time. Thank goodness. A move that has given me so many victories. The Rana. I remember hooking Eddie for a 1, 2, and he kicked out. I'm thinking to myself, what do I have to do to beat this guy? Incredible ring awareness. Respect. One of the most vicious moves that I've taken from other wrestlers. Eddie, being a master of this, the power bomb. I just remember the ref screaming, 1, 2, and I said, here's the time to kick your shoulder up, and did everything I could to break the count. Again, I insist on this. Eddie had an answer for everything. I think that's just because of the styles. We were very similar in styles. But this move right here, the backbreaker, very special in lucha libre. Again, we go back to the famous power bomb, which in this case, I was literally standing on the top rope. Eddie had me in a Splash Mountain move when the only thing I could think of at that point, hook him into a rana. That's exactly what I did. I remember taking him down, felt my knees bang against the mat, but I hooked that one leg, and then I just pushed my weight forward, and I just heard the 1, 2, 3. It was over at that point. I have to admit, regaining the championship was one of the greatest feelings in the world. Pero el poder defender el honor de la máscara y el nombre de Mysterio fue algo mucho más grande. I've sat and watched that match. I actually watched it not too long ago with my son Dominic. And it's a match that I still learn from. And, you know, it's a match that doesn't get old. I truly believe that if there was no Eddie Guerrero, my career would have gone a different direction. 8 years after our epic Halloween Havoc clash, Eddie and I were on better terms, but still found ourselves unable to resist the friendly competition in WWE. Holding the WWE Tag Team Championships only drove us to wonder who the better man on the team was. We both held victories over the other, but the chance to meet at the showcase of the Immortals, WrestleMania, was something we couldn't pass up. For the first time ever, two tag team champions would go one-on-one at the grandest stage of them all. We both knew what this match meant to the other, and it's what made it so fun to go out there and try to take the glory for ourselves. With no hard feelings, of course. You know, I've always said that it was always very cool to just compete against Eddie. With all the extra personal stuff, Eddie has always had my respect, you know, and a year removed from being WWE champions, everything he did was so flawlessly executed, like to the T. I knew this was going to be something special and another test that was yet to come. Just when you start getting comfortable, things get out of control and no longer technical. Now, that was Eddie. Eddie made you feel so comfortable, and once you least expected it, there you go, over the top rope, take you out of your comfort zone. I take this back to Halloween Havoc. I try to get fancy with him. He pulled me off the apron immediately. So this time, I made sure I ended up on top in the ring when I wanted to show off for a quick second. Live and learn, correct? Eddie always powerful, and maybe this match felt a little different, but it was always the same old story. Eddie always had an answer for everything. I should have seen that elbow coming though. He caught me pretty good. Eddie started to get into that flow right here. I needed to make sure that I didn't let him come through this. Now I figured reversing the three amigos, shake him off for a second. It barely phased him. Before I knew it, bam! Another backbreaker, lucha libre style. I thought that escaping the three amigos for a second was my chance. When I managed to whip Eddie into the ropes, I saw the opening and I took it like anyone else would. But again, always Eddie, he knew and had incredible ring awareness. Another backbreaker. I was really wondering if this was just not gonna be my night. So it always feels good to hit the 619. But here, when I finally connected, it felt really good. I said, let's go, man. This is gonna be it. You know, I was so close to victory. I'm ready for the springboard. I jump off the hook for the Rana, and what do you know? Eddie catches me with that powerbomb again. Just brought flashbacks. I've already been here. I knew what this was all about. So again, kick off on instinct, purely. At this time, your mind is doubting, and you have to make sure that you stay on track and you finish the task at hand. But then, for the first time in the whole match, I knew exactly what was coming. Eddie went for the back, but one more time, which he'd already done before, and I made him pay with the perfect Huracarrana, my signature move. From feeling hopeless to beyond words that I won. I competed against Eddie so many times. He'd won, I'd win, but I swear that at WrestleMania 21, I faced the best version of Eddie Guerrero, the man. There's a small part of me that still can't believe I pulled it out. I was actually shocked. He was just on a different level that night. What a win that was for me. Historical.
Eddie Guerrero has passed away. Eddie was in the prime of his life, 38 years old, the prime of his career. So tonight, we celebrate the life of Eddie Guerrero.
The toughest thing about this day was what we were all living, what we were going through. It was hard for us to accept that Eddie was no longer with us. Everyone was hurting. I asked myself, what would Eddie have done? And Eddie was all about the business. Whatever happened, show must go on. I did expect to wrestle Shawn one day, just not under those terms. One of the greatest legends in WWE history. He has a lot of respect for this business and for the superstars that are up and coming. By Shawn Michaels asking me if I had the energy and the courage to have a match against him that night. He didn't have to choose me, but he did because he knew that Eddie would have loved it. That speaks of the type of human being that he is. Losing Eddie was one of the most painful experiences in both my personal and professional life. The WWE Universe came together to pay tribute to one of the most respected and beloved superstars of all time. This was a difficult night for all of the obvious reasons, but we wanted to put on a show that Eddie would be proud of. I found myself in a rare one-on-one match with another living legend, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Of course, I wanted to win for myself, for my fans, and for Eddie. And while Shawn was also grieving, I knew that he would still give me everything he had, just as Eddie would have wanted. That night was heartbreaking, but at the same time it was special in its own way. I remember Shawn Michaels coming up to me and asking me, "Do you have what it takes to jump in the ring tonight against me? I think Eddie would really enjoy a match between you and I, Ray." How can I resist? As heartbroken as I was, I knew that Eddie would have loved to continue on. So that's what I did. I knew it was going to be something special. this often, and I was really surprised to see HBK make such a basic error. But I was going to capitalize if I could. You have to. There's no other way to put it. I don't think he was necessarily done at this point, but you always gotta try, right? There's no other way. If that 619 connects, I'm thinking to myself, it's over. I remember Shawn biting on that 619 fake out and just thinking to myself, let's go! And just launching myself out into the floor. When you get hit by Shawn Michaels, it rocks you. And by that time, I could really get what was going on here. Boom! There's that elbow drop. I was lucky that he didn't try to pin me then. That's because there's a sequence to all of that. He drops the elbow, he nips up, and then he stomps the leg, ready to hit you with that sweet chin music. I remember getting up and luckily moved at the right time. So I connect with the 619, and I already know what's coming next. Springboard, leg drop. When I hit that and I saw that he didn't move and I connected, I remember hooking the leg and I was in awe when I heard the 3. I couldn't believe it. I really was shocked.
Rey Mysterio!
Now you have to keep in mind, this was my first time facing Shawn Michaels. But at the same time, my brother had just passed. So, mixed emotions, but I felt like a truly blessed man, and I know Eddie was watching. I know Eddie was in that ring, He had a special corner that night and enjoyed every minute of it, just like we did. I believe defending a championship is way harder than becoming a champion. There's always more pressure defending, keeping that title that you work hard to get. Anyone, whoever wants to become champion, they just want to destroy you. They want to take what's yours. And with a guy like JBL, he just wants to destroy you. He would always nag and put you down. He would step on you and step on you. Amigo! Crush you down and just make you feel this big. Being the smallest superstar in that ring, facing giants in a world of giants, that was my fuel to overcome every time I stepped into the ring with him. I had finally reached the pinnacle of WWE by winning the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania in honor of my good friend, Eddie Guerrero. As a World Heavyweight Champion, I knew I had a target on my back and would face some of my toughest opponents, including John Bradshaw Layfield. JBL always made it very easy to get motivated for a match. His loudmouth, the constant mockery, and his knack for crossing the line to make things personal. He didn't think I was a good champion. He thought I'd just be a stepping stone to his reign as a dual champion. Went into Judgment Day, ready to show him that all his bluster and power wasn't enough to stop Rey Mysterio. I have to admit, I enjoyed each one of these. JBL is so hittable with that target, you can't miss him, you know? And all the stuff that he talked about me, I didn't just want to outmaneuver him. I wanted to show that I can brawl with one of the big boys here in WWE. I let him get to me. Yep. We all intended that against JBL, and he made me pay. You know, when that big boot catches you right across the face, you're talking a size 13. All in your face. Moving wrestling, suplex. But when I knew what JBL was doing to me after he hit me with that first suplex, and I felt him roll over and take my weight with him, and pick me up for a second one, and then a third, it was humiliating not being able to stop him. Look at the size difference. But it fed me with the motivation that I needed. JBL doing the Eddie shimmy. Obviously, I didn't see this happen because I was on the floor. And I'm glad I didn't, because I would have got right back up and kicked him face. baseball slide dropkick right at the side of his legs. I figured that I had this coming once I went for that Uncle Buster, and he put up that 13 move. JBL is one of the smartest minds in this business. He will do anything at all times to steal the win. I really didn't imagine he'd risk a disqualification like that. Maybe he knew the ref would be lenient with the championship up for grabs. I couldn't worry about all of that. Not at that moment. Still don't know how I managed to kick out of that. Honestly, JBL's got one of the best and strongest power bombs WWE has ever seen. I definitely was knocked out for a minute. But hey, being lucky is just as good as being good in the right situation. I just couldn't lose that night. Not to him. I saw JBL coming in with that chair, big old smile on his face, and I let him think that he was about to hit me with it, but next thing you know, caught him. It was just a matter of time after that. And yeah, a little frog splash from above to remind JBL just who he was messing with. This was such a satisfying win. Nobody throws you off your game like JBL. Getting the victory meant a ton to me. And of course, and still, world champion. The Big Red Machine, Kane, had his sight set on eliminating me from WWE in 2008. The monstrous 7-foot-tall behemoth took pleasure in mocking my pain and misery. Kane thought he could use his mind games to break me, but I wasn't gonna let that happen. It's tough keeping your head in the game when facing someone so sick and sadistic, but at Cyber Sunday, where the WWE Universe would choose our match stipulation, the fans chose no holds barred. I didn't know what type of strategy I was gonna bring to the table that night. My technique has always been aerial maneuvers. Was I gonna be able to get away with it at an no-holds-barred match? I made a promise to myself that I wasn't going to show fear. How do I take the big man down? Hit him with whatever I got. I was gonna meet him head-on, regardless of the match type, and show him that you can't break Rey Mysterio. stop sign wasn't the correct thing to do, because that really got him angry. There's a huge size difference between Kane and me. Kane was always the big red machine. When there's no rules, there's nothing stopping him. The places his mind goes to dish out the violence that he does, that's gotta be deep and dark. It's crazy. This was still early in the match, and Kane already had me in big trouble. Anytime he hits you, takes you out. I wasn't sure that was gonna work, but I knew if it did, it'd buy me some time. Lucky for me, it did work out. And then, of course, I managed to get Kane set up perfectly. But Kane had other plans for me. Now this move I love. In the back of my head, I knew that Kane had more left in the tank. But I was gonna try to do anything I could to try to pin him and win. Definitely a little letdown that he kicked out. But I just had to stay focused and on top of him. Like taking the risk and my chances if I wanted to bring him down. But sometimes the risk just doesn't pay off. Kane saw me coming and I suffered the consequences. In these types of matches, you can hear the crowd buzz in the middle and then you know something next is coming. You can even hear the commentator saying, "No, what's he doing? No!" And you're just trying to get up to your feet, not knowing what's about to hit you. Here it is. When Kane wraps his hands around your throat, you're thinking you're going up for a choke slam. I remember doing everything I could to hook him and put him into the stairs with the drop toe hold. Took all my chances. It was now or never. I had to put Kane away. And I was going to empty my tank if I needed to. If I got out of the first choke slam, I'm pretty sure I could do it again. And I did everything I could to get out of it. Once I hit the 619 and the springboard splash, it was over. Now, I have too much at heart to let the fans down. They were the ones that chose this match. They wanted a no DQ match. Here it is. And what a true honor to beat WWE legend like Kane and a Hall of Famer. When I became Intercontinental Champion, I was honored to hold the title with such a vast legacy of greatness. I was excited to face new challengers as the landscape was evolving. A brash newcomer named Dolph Ziggler thought he had me figured out and brushed me to the side. My point of view of Dolph Ziggler coming in, I had the utmost respect for him. He was very exciting to watch. He had a style, but with a new spike to it, a new feel to it. I knew Dolph was hungry coming into this match, and he was one of the up-and-coming superstars. But there's a mistake that he made that you never make in this business. Dolph felt like he was already the Intercontinental Champion before our match had even started. So I made sure to teach him a very valuable lesson at the biggest party of the summer. At SummerSlam, Dolph's arrogance was going to be his downfall if I had my way. Stuck the landing on that one. Dolph pulled a fast one there, throwing me over him like that, but it set me up perfectly for that moonsault. Man, I still wish I'd gotten the pin there. People be talking about that forever. I'm still amazed I stuck that landing. Yeah, gotta do it up big at SummerSlam. I knew Dolph was gonna test me with his athleticism, so I had to turn it up and show him right off the bat that I could sprint with him. No problem. I'm defending my championship, you know? That meant some more high-risk lucha libre too. Ziggler showed me some real high ring IQ when he went for broke here. But he also showed his experience when he let me regroup right next to him while this was all going down and he was throwing his tantrum. Can't do that when you're against me. You know, I was definitely stunned here, and Dolph got a good pin on me, but didn't have enough strength to hold it. That happens to all of us. We were both exhausted, man. You know, good try, but not today. Set me up for good. I knew Dolph was getting really frustrated. I can see it in his face, and I felt that vibe right off the bat when we went up to the top. He was trying to do something big, but I knew what was coming. And that's a good thing. You always have to read your opponent. Been in that position before. Saw that run right there. Dolph's an incredible opponent. No doubt about that. But that night, I was at a level he wasn't ready for. I like to think he learned a lot from that loss. Like maybe even I helped him become great, you know? But what a big win that was for me. I love being Intercontinental Champ. Of defending it against hungry competitors like Dolph Ziggler.